Hey creators, I'm Cynthia Fisher of Creative You, Craft Tutorials and more. But today, I'm here with a project for the Tiny Pandora design team. I can't wait to tell you all about it. In this video, I'll show you how to make 3 mini photo frames from just one silkscreen. You'll even have enough left over for a pendant. To create the photo frames and pendant, I used the oval form from the Tiny Pandora Big Bakeable Box Form Set and the 4x6 oval Andrew Cannon Limited Edition Silkscreen. Both of these products are available at tinypandora.com. You'll need a few other things to complete the project. You'll need 3 ounces of white polymer clay, about 1.5 ounces of black polymer clay, black acrylic paint, a soft paintbrush or squeegee, a 3-inch oval cutter, a 2-inch oval cutter, a 1-inch oval cutter, a craft knife, 3/4-inch ribbon clamps, 1/2-inch ribbon clamps, 3/4-inch rings, liquid clay, a cosmetic sponge, a clay blade, a pasta machine, and alcohol-based markers. I used Prismacolor markers for my frames, but any alcohol markers will do. You can even use Sharpies or Flair pens. Okay, let's get started. Roll out white clay on the thickest setting of your pasta machine and place it on a tile. Place the silkscreen over the clay, shiny side down. Burnish it lightly with your fingers to make sure it's completely adhered to the clay. Place a line of paint at one end of the silkscreen. Use a soft artist brush, a squeegee, or even a credit card to draw the paint over the screen. Carefully lift the screen from the clay. Place the screen in your brush immediately in some soapy water. Allow the paint to dry thoroughly. When the paint is dry, center the oval box form over the design. Use the box form to cut the design out. Center the 3-inch oval cutter over the design. Press down and cut through the clay, but don't remove the 3-inch oval. Repeat this with the 2-inch oval cutter. Again, don't remove the 2-inch oval. Leave it in place. Finally, center the 1-inch oval on the design and cut through the clay, but once again, leave that 1-inch oval in place. Cure the ovals nested at the manufacturer's recommended time and temperature, tented, for 1 hour. When the ovals have cured and cooled, carefully separate them. You may have to neaten the edges of the frames with 400 grit wet dry sandpaper. You can also clean up the edges with your craft knife. When your edges are cleaned up, apply some liquid clay or bacon bond to the back of the frames using a cosmetic sponge. Roll out some black clay at the medium setting of your pasta machine. Use an oval cutter the same size as the frame you're working on to cut an oval. Place the black oval of clay onto the back of your photo frame. Flip the frame over and use your craft knife to cut away the clay from the center of the frame. Use a texture sponge to texture the clay. Use a clay blade to trim away any excess clay on the inside and outside edge of the frame. Place the 3/4-inch ring at the top of the frame. Use a toothpick or a similar object to really push the ring into the clay. And then you can add a little liquid clay over the ring. Cut a 3/4 inch circle from the black clay. Cut the circle in half with your craft knife. Place the half circle of clay over the ring. Use a texture sponge to texture the half circle of clay, blending it into the backing clay. If you're working on the pendant, you'll stop here. The piece will be ready for curing. But if you're working on the photo frames, there are a few more steps. If you'd like, you can use pliers to open up the ribbon clamps a little bit. That can make it easier to attach them to the clay. Apply a little liquid clay to the back of the ribbon clamps with a toothpick and then press them into the backing clay. Use a toothpick to apply some liquid clay to the front of the ribbon clamps. Use a rectangle cutter or your blade to cut some strips from the black clay. Place the strips over the ribbon clamps. Use your craft blade to trim away any excess clay. Use a texture sheet to texture the strips, blending them into the backing sheet. Once all of your ribbon clamps have been placed, cure the frames, tented, at the manufacturer's recommended time and temperature. Once the frames are all cured, cooled, and decorated, you'll use the ribbon clamps to hold your photo in place. Just squeeze the ribbon clamps closed around your photo. When the frames and pendants have cured and cooled, you can begin coloring them. Start by choosing 3 markers in a light, medium, and dark value. Start by coloring a section of the frame with the lightest value marker. Then, add the darkest value. Use the medium value marker to blend the darkest color into the lightest color. Then, use the lightest marker again to smooth the transition between the lightest color and the medium color. Repeat this process all around the frame, using different color families if you'd like. You can use a sealer of your choice on the frames, but I don't like to do that. Even very high quality markers will eventually fade, and I'd like to be able to touch up the frames. A sealer or a varnish prevents that. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out all the videos on the Tiny Pandora Design Team YouTube channel. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Until next time, keep creating.